So this morning I'm here in the beautiful Tower Hill, um, and with Aaron Yahaya. Aaron, you're the Snapchat
Morning,
king,
Andy.
um, and I'm delighted that you're at my Central London Evening Property Network this coming Thursday evening, and the focus of that particular evening, or part of it, is focused on utilizing new social media channels. Now, Snapchat isn't necessarily that new. It's been around 3, 4 years. I know you've been on it for the last 3 years.
Mm.
Look, I've experimented with Snapchat post attending Nicole Bremner's one day event.
Mm.
Um, I definitely do look at utilizing the graphics and so forth. If I had to ask you one fold, what's your thoughts on people using Snapchat, and what's some snippets of advice, some snaps of advice on utilizing Snapchat as well? I suppose this interview should have 10-second segments rather than 3 or 4 minutes, or however long it will be.
Okay, Brendan, thanks for introducing me, and it's a pleasure to be with you. I'm always looking forward to see you, and I find your meetings always pleasurable when I come down, especially the quality of the people around. Now, coming back to Snapchat, again, calling me the Snapchat king is flattering, and thank you for that. I wouldn't quite describe myself as that, but as an avid social media user. What you may not know, and as we discussed about, is I've actually been around using social media for maybe over the last 10 years plus, including first advertising on Facebook way back in 2005, 2006. I saw an old bank statement from that time where it was actually saying the Facebook. But more specifically, where I want to add value on Snapchat is there are three things which I think everyone should consider. I'm using Snapchat to address their whole social media policy, but we're going back to the basics of marketing. Now, the very first thing is the number of current channels that you currently use, the audience that you're looking for, and the time you have available. And these are the three things I think people should look at when they're looking at what channel to use, and specifically with Snapchat. Now, Brendan, I don't want to go on through because I want to break up a little bit.
Sure.
So if you give me specific questions, then I'll answer those specific questions in a short time frame to give people enough time to digest.
Okay. So, look, I've been experimenting after
Mm.
Nicole's one day event with Snapchat. I've got a fairly decent following on Twitter, you know, just under 5,000. Um, However, uh, it's not quite the same using Snapchat in
Okay.
terms of being able to necessarily attract.
Yeah.
I saw an interesting thing last night. Well, it's maybe not that interesting, but I saw it last night, early this morning, with Cohen Ray in Australia, and he's got his T-shirt with his Snapchat uh, logo on, and it's almost like that. I find you, it's a way to promote Snapchat, which for me is old school in some respects. Um, is it something you just have to get used to, just a different way to attract people? How do you attract people into your Snapchat uh, connections as well?
Okay, so there's two things I'm going to address first of all. The first thing is sort of tips on using Snap, which I think you touched on in your first question. And the whole thing about it, and this reaches into what we saw, which is a bit of a macro change, which is people are looking for this realness and this authenticity, and this one-to-one communication in the age of mass. And what Snapchat enables you to do is to present things without the live filters, what's really going on. Now, I'm not just talking of the filters on the face and all the rest of the stuff, which gives people an extra mask, but be able to snap snippets in real time. The way it was described when it first came out was almost audio and visual Twitter. So it's 10-second segments, and quite simply, people had to summarize what was going on. And this was an evolution of what the concept at first started. Ironically, Twitter started it with Vine. And it was that same sort of riddle, getting people to summarize stuff, because our attention spans are reducing and people are very busy and they're bombarded with a whole load of information. Now, looking back at Kerwin's race stuff, which is putting a Snapchat on his shirt and all the back of it. And I think this is where we have this blend between the new world and the old world, the old media and the new media. And I think together is what they work together, because what you're looking for is you're looking for the attention. Because whoever gets your attention gets a market share, and you're looking for top of mind awareness whilst in a very, very crowded place. So where it comes down to it, the question specifically to me is I do have a couple of cards. You might or might not have seen my card, which I've used at tech events, which actually has my Snapchat on it. I've also shared my Snapchat handle on my Twitter, and I've also shared my Snapchat handle on Facebook. And there was a point when Facebook cracked down on having this as a profile page. So I had it in print and I had it across my other mediums. Now, there is another reason why you might want to cross-pollinate your medium as well, is because things can change at any moment with the companies. And remember, whilst your stuff is out there, and it is theirs. So you want to cross-pollinate where you can.
Mm.
Okay,
No, I understand that. It's and it's sort of like old school comes with new school, where I'm so used of utilizing new school. Been around quite a long time, so used old school as well. It just seems to be going back 10 steps to go forward 10 steps. Do you think Snapchat is here to stay for the future? It looks like it is. It looks like it's a no-brainer answer, but it might be hard to say as well.
you see, I think that is a very, very, very good point. Because like with everything that's going on, especially in this world, the sands are moving really quickly. You may know Snapchat has just had an IPO. And I think Snapchat itself, whereas if we were having this conversation a year ago, I said, definitely you need to deep dive in, because we have a high take-up rate across all the demographics. But since then, as innovation in any industry, the moves that Facebook has made to really eat into what was Snapchat's unique territory means that I would say the jury is very much out.
And when you say Facebook, you're referring to either Facebook Live or Facebook Story?
I'm talking about Facebook, the company, which includes WhatsApp with statuses, Instagram with stories and live, and the ability to post through, and they're improving their direct messaging. Then we're talking about Facebook itself, which is detaching Messenger. And in Messenger, you can have day, you can have frames and all the rest of it. And in the main Facebook, you do have live, but live has already existed. There was also other stuff called MSQRD, which were apps which had the face over. So people didn't notice, but about a year ago, Facebook bought MSQRD, and the technology they took from MSQRD has now come into my day, which the very first thing Facebook is doing is diluting what was unique about Snapchat. So this comes back going to the three things I talk about. What power do you have in your current channels? If you have power in your current channels, you have a lot of Facebook followers, you have a lot of Instagram followers, you even have a lot of Twitter. Whilst I would say Snapchat provides a unique opportunity for one-on-one communication, I would encourage people to double down on the stuff that they already have and then use that content in Snapchat with a few unique things. Now, there's one thing you want to pay attention to, and that's that second thing of the three things, and that is your audience. Who are you going for and where are they? And sometimes it's very hard to know where exactly they like to communicate.
Sure, yeah, definitely.
And double down as to where your audience are if you're trying to reach. So that's what I'd say. So, and that would be my answer. If you're on Snapchat, let's deep down. Let's add a few direct messages. Make sure you're consistent in putting stuff out there, and make sure you show unfiltered and everyday stuff, because I think people are tired, especially in property, of people just saying everything's great all the time. You know, I spend my time either on sites or meditating on mountains or looking at deals or anything else. And this is not always the case.
Mm.
And people just want to know that they're dealing with human beings, because it's often said, but now forgotten, that this is a people business. People want to know what people are doing that are just like them.
Mm.
It's all good. Everyone's seen the pictures, the shiny new HMO, the shiny new refurb, the sparkling marble floor, the multi-coordinated colors. These are all things. People have seen the sites with the workers, with the pictures. These are all things. What people are interested in is people.
Mm.
They work with people.
Innovation, Aaron, though, is key as
Yes,
well. Um, I know Marina Conway
yes,
Gordon is going to be presenting. One of the things which I love, which she did, which I haven't really seen anyone else do,
yes,
is, and I asked her how she did it. I thought it was a bit of software,
yeah,
or I thought it was quite expensive.
yeah,
It was literally the magazine or their brochure, which they flicked over, but they did it so well. But it was literally not. It was just literally her flicking over the pages, but really well. So because you have to stand out in this market, whether you're in Snapchat or it's certainly because I've been on Facebook long enough. I've been on Twitter. Um, and I certainly know it's key to stand out. People got different approaches to standing out as well. So I really look forward to seeing you this coming Thursday evening, where we can go into a lot more detail,
absolutely,
fo-
absolutely.
focused on you know how you utilize social media on a daily basis, um, and where it comes into your other marketing channels as well. Because it's interesting that you still use print as well as a form of marketing. Um, so I know you're not gone.
You're actually on Snapchat right now, and interviewing me about Snapchat.
Oh,
So
that's great.
you're not gone. You're actually on Snapchat right now. There we go. So we'll be seeing that a little bit later.
Yeah, we definitely will be. I just want to say huge thanks for taking time out this morning. So just to remind the listeners, so it's the Central London Evening Property Meet, London Bridge Hotel. Tickets are just £20. It's with Luke Hamill, who's co-hosting. I will try to get Luke to listen to you as much as possible, possibly try to get Luke to meet you beforehand, because well, maybe it's important for me to meet you beforehand as well. Because obviously I use social media channels. Luke does as well now. Um, I don't think Luke's ever been on Snapchat, to be fair. And there is an opportunity which is there. May not be the right opportunity, but it's worth exploring and being aware as well of what's around. Because I have to admit, when I went to Nicole Bremner's one day event, my phone, I hadn't done the updates on my social media for quite a while. So Facebook had completely changed since my last update in terms of stories. And I just
Yeah.
wonder how many other people are aware of that as well. So I just want to say huge thanks for you taking time out this morning, Aaron.
You're
Look
welcome.
forward to seeing you Thursday, and also look forward to seeing you this coming Tuesday evening at the Wandsworth 7-year anniversary. So it's an amazing developer panel who's going to be there. Rather than me take any more of your time up, just huge thanks. A huge thanks to the listeners as well. So if there's people you want me to interview who aren't based in the UK, this platform I love, it's called Zoom. So it does give me the option of interviewing people outside of the UK as well. So thank you, Aaron, and thank you.
Thanks, Brandon, and I'll
Bye for
see
the
you
moment.
all this week.
Bye.
Take care.